This is Sam Sheffer. I'm talking to you from Salvona Technologies. We are located here in New Jersey, and I'm very pleased to be able to talk to you. So the agenda for this webinar is to enable formulators of you to produce special product, age-defying skincare, and the emphasis on brightening, toning of the skin. In other words, we want to handle the issue of hyperpigmentation in a cosmetic way. This is completely different from any type of approach that a cosmetic dermatologist would do. Cosmetic dermatologists would probably use the laser to clean spots of pigments, melanin. Okay, so the specific issues that we are going to address today, we'll talk about hyperpigmentation, especially about melasma and sunspots. And I would like to introduce you to technologies that found to be effective to treat hyperpigmentation. One of them is Sunsphere Light, and the second one is Hydrosol Glow. Hydrosol Glow is a new technology, brand new actually, and it does not appear yet on the website. It will appear in a couple of weeks. Okay, and at the end, after I explain you the technologies, I will demonstrate you live from our lab on how to use these technologies to produce products. So stay tuned because it's going to be a very intensive hour. You can communicate with me as we talk on the chat. I hope all of you sign your name so I see that people are there and alive and they can hear me and see me. I am not sure I can respond to you on the chat, but you can at least try. If you want some clarification during my talk, please send a message. I will try to address it either during or at the end. But still, if I will not address, please feel free to contact me online. Okay, so let's start our journey. So we're talking about uneven skin. I think the picture talks a lot. You don't need more information than the actual picture. We are talking about areas on the skin that are discolored from the rest of the skin. Typically, they are a result of hyperpigmentation, which means the only pigment that we have in our skin is melanin. This is the name of the molecule. And melanin could accumulate at certain areas on the skin. And this is actually part of our body's ability to protect us from the sun. So this is a benefit when we have this ability. People that don't have melanin, they are very, very white, let's say, they cannot expose to the sun. They immediately get inflamed and you can see red skin. So the ability to accumulate melanin is a positive aspect. However, when it's not homogeneously spread, then it's caused a cosmetic issue. So typically this is caused by either overexposure to UV and lights. And what we do in order to prevent it, the number one approach is to prevent exposure to the light, to UV. The other one is to try to inhibit the formation of the melanin, okay? And another approach is to promote the degradation of whatever is already there, the melanin. So there are different approaches and we're trying to talk about all of them, and I will try to show you how technologies, advanced technologies, when you use them in the right concentration, could actually support and help with hyperpigmentation. Melasma is the word that dermatologists are using when there is a common pigmentation disorder that caused by brown or gray patches to appear on the skin. Primarily, we care, of course, about the face. So this is the phenomena of melasma. But melasma is not the only issue of hyperpigmentation. In some cases, we can see age or sunspots. So this is a total different issue of hyperpigmentation, and it's dealt also in a different way, although the basic reason is accumulation of melanin on the surface of the skin. None of this is really health issue. It's only a cosmetic issue. Okay, so now you know there is melasma, there is age or sunspots, they're all hyperpigmentation, and they deal with some aspect of the same way. So the current product, this is not a new issue, and there are multiple products in the marketplace. You probably are familiar with them. There are multiple botanicals that people use, and a little more stronger effect is hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is used at 4%, and there are many issues relating to safety of hydroquinone. So our position here in Salbona is we try to avoid using hydroquinone, and we are looking at botanical extract that have the potential to treat hyperpigmentation. So our solution is very much a blend of natural ingredients, and we focus on two. One of them is Arbutin, more specifically talking about alpha Arbutin, is a natural ingredient extracted from berries. This is the molecular structure of Arbutin. It's known to provide a skin lightening effect, very similar to hydroquinone, but probably not the same intensity. So if someone would like to have a dramatic effect, then of course the first way to do it is laser. The second one is to use hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is not recommended for long term, and that's why it's regulated as a drug and requires prescription in the US. What is the problem with alpha Arbutin? The major problem with alpha Arbutin, as well as with many botanical extracts, is that they are water soluble. From the formulation point of view, water soluble is not a problem because it goes easily into the formula, so they should not cause any problem. I hope you understand that. So if it goes into the formula, it doesn't separate, then it's great for most of the formulators. However, what do we know about water-soluble molecules? If we just take the smallest soluble water, just we take water. Water itself, think about water. Can water penetrate the skin? It's a question. People say maybe yes, because most of the product contain water. So maybe water helps to deliver functional ingredients into the skin. But think about if you go swim, when you go into the pool or the ocean, whenever you go to swim, water will penetrate into your skin. How would you know if it's penetrate or not? If the water would penetrate, you would swell like a balloon. And this doesn't happen. So water cannot penetrate the skin. This is the conclusion. Because the skin is hydrophobic. It's made out of proteins and lipids. So nothing actually can easily penetrate the skin. We need really to punch holes in order to enhance penetration. And we have to use some molecules that can help the penetration of certain molecules into the skin. So skin is our barrier system. Now, alpha Arbutin was great, and it's a great material when you test it on tissue culture, when there is no barrier. But the skin is a barrier. So there is only limited ability for alpha Arbutin to penetrate the skin. So this is the challenge that with our technology we are addressing, enhancing the penetration into the skin. The other molecules that we are talking about is resveratrol. Resveratrol is a polyphenol. This is made of two phenolic groups. Resveratrol is also a natural ingredient, available also as a synthetic. We are using natural ingredients from either grape skin or grape seed or other botanicals. What do we know about resveratrol? Number one, it's a very good antioxidant. It's actually better than vitamin C. Okay, this is number one. Number two, it's a polyphenol. It has multiple purposes, multiple functions in the skin, including as an anti-inflammatory and as a regulator of gene activity. So it has an ability to affect the DNA, to induce enzymes, proteins to heal the skin. For example, to produce more collagen. And collagen is part of the skin, and it's used to reduce wrinkles as well. So in addition to ability to heal and repair the skin, it's also antioxidant and a slightly brightening effect. What do we know about resveratrol? Besides these functions, is that resveratrol is not soluble in water. It's hard like cement. So if you put resveratrol in your formula, it will precipitate at the bottom of the vessel, and it's not homogeneously dispersed in the product. Resveratrol is insoluble in water. Yes, you can solubilize it with alcohol, but we don't want to use alcohol at any concentration on the skin. It doesn't bring any benefit to the skin. It's actually hurt the skin biology. So here we have two ingredients that are known to brighten the skin. One of them is very soluble. The other one is insoluble. And this is exactly where you can see the benefit of our technology. So what is our technology? Salvona Technology has a patent on a platform of product based on what we call SalSphere. The specific product that I'm talking to you about is SalSphere Light. SalSphere Light is a submicron technology. It has a core and it has a shell. The core is lipid. Lipid enhance the solubility of lipid ingredients. In this case is resveratrol. Resveratrol, we said, insoluble in water, but soluble in lipid phase. So we can disperse it in the core. And we can also disperse the arbutin because we have a blend of lipid ingredients that enable the dispersion of both functional ingredients inside the core. Now we have a shell. The shell is a very thin layer of hydrophilic polymers, and that shell has a specific function. The major function is to enable the lipid core to suspend in a product. It also enables to adhere better on the skin because many times we are using a cationically charged molecule, and we know that the skin is negatively charged. So by using a counter charge, we are able to enhance the deposition. That's why SalSphere can be used in a wash-off, and we get a much better deposition. Why I'm talking so much about deposition? Because deposition is the key to long-term release. If this vehicle would not deposit, then it would not deliver over time. Why it's so important to deliver over time? Well, we want to influence, in this case, and in many other cases, biological processes. We want to influence the formation and the degradation of melanin. In order to achieve this, we need to expose the functional ingredient for a longer time than a simple wash or a simple application, because it has to induce biological processes. Biological processes means it has to affect the DNA. The DNA has to give the right commands to RNA, and eventually we have the enzymes that help us brighten the skin. So the long exposure of the functional ingredients is a major benefit. Otherwise, you really have to wait a long time by adding this functional ingredient onto the skin, and a long time until you see effect. So here we see how the technology designed to, one, first of all, incorporate variety of functional ingredients into one unit. And it's powerful unit because we can increase the concentration. There is no premature oxidation. There is no discoloration because they are all packed into a lipid system that prevents any contact with oxygen and water. And then the lipid fat of the core helps to adhere it to the skin, simple like lipids stick to lipid. The shell is too thin to prevent any adhesion. Also, the shell totally collapses when there is no water. So when you apply it on the skin, the shell collapses, water evaporates, and there is no barrier any longer. So the core can stick to the skin, melt into the skin as fat would melt with another fat, and slowly release the functional ingredients. Some of the particles are even able to penetrate into the deeper layer of the skin. So I explained you the technology, the encapsulation, and just to review it, we know that encapsulation can enhance the stability, and the two ingredients are definitely known to be unstable in water, enhance the deposition and long contact time, and slowly release, and control. Another aspect is control the accumulation of hydroquinone. Now, what is hydroquinone has to do with our business? We said we don't put any hydroquinone. Well, turn out the alpha arbutin undergoes a reaction with water and hydrolysis, and the hydrolysis is resulting with hydroquinone. And hydroquinone is the material that I mentioned in advance that is causing some safety issues. So we don't want to have hydroquinone at high concentration. Small concentration, limited concentration are okay. That's why alpha arbutin is approved to use in the cosmetic area. But hydroquinone is known because of the high concentration that's causing the issues that cause some concerns about the safety. So what do we do? By slowly releasing the alpha arbutin, we prevent the situation of high concentration of hydroquinone, and this is how we overcome the issues. So now you understand that the encapsulation supports us first by enabling the penetration of alpha arbutin, because we make a water soluble into insoluble. When it comes into the particle, now the particle penetrates, not directly alpha arbutin. But when the particle penetrates the skin, as it goes through several layers of the skin, the particle degrades, breaks down, and then the alpha arbutin releases. What do we know about alpha arbutin compared to kojic acid and hydroquinone? So look at this graph. You see here the skin whitening activity, and the control was hydroquinone, as it was known for many years to be the gold standard, and that's why we gave it 100. When we compare hydroquinone to kojic acid is definitely 2.5 times better, but alpha arbutin is 3.5 times better in terms of skin lightening activity. So that's why we are using alpha arbutin. How do we know it's penetrate or not, and how much is penetrating? So how do we know? It's a good question. And the answer is we use French cells. These are special cells that allow us to put a skin in this position and measure the transport of functional ingredients from the top to the bottom, from the top into the solution. The solution is here. The solution is maintained at 37 degrees C, and it's completely mixed. And from time to time, we can take samples from the solution, and we can measure the concentration of alpha arbutin as a parameter of penetration. And you see here the free alpha arbutin penetrate to a certain level, but when you encapsulate it in Sunsphere light, there is 60% increase in penetration, just because we made it hydrophobic, and now it can penetrate even better. When we look at the ability to convert from alpha arbutin to hydroquinone, as I told you, the concern is hydroquinone. We don't want a high level of hydroquinone. So we measure again the penetration and the ability to convert hydroquinone into hydroquinone. We see that the free provide a much higher rate of conversion compared to Sunsphere light. And the reason is just slow release. So we can release almost the same dose, but the rate is much lower. So this is our one technology, Sunsphere light. This is the principle, this is the value. These are the ingredients that are used and why we're using this. Now I would like to introduce you the second technology, which I said before, it's a brand new technology, and it's called Hydrosol Glow. Hydrosol Glow is a combination of 3 functional ingredients. Like Sunsphere light was combination of 2. This is a combination of 3. We like to use combinations because every skin is slightly different, and we don't know which one, what composition will work the best. So here I explain you the ingredients, how do they work, what's the mechanism, so you will understand why we combine them, and you can make your choices to which one you want, or you actually can use both technology like many of our customers in the US. So the first ingredient is salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is a beta-hydroxy acid, and it's known as a drug for acne, but it's also known to be a very good exfoliating agent. So what does it do when it exfoliates? It's exposing a young appearance, and at the same time, when it's exposing a young appearance, it's removing the old skin. Typically, the melanin is accumulating in the old skin, the most exterior layer. So what salicylic acid is doing is just removing it, simply exfoliating it, and immediately by the physical exfoliation, you have a lightened skin. This is very much what laser is doing, but salicylic acid is doing gently, and you can do it at home. So in the same time, it's smoothing the skin, it's minimizing the appearance of scars and blemishes. So this is number 1, physical exfoliation. Number 2 is hexyl resorcinol, is another natural ingredient known as a skin brightening agent. So what does it do? Number 1, it inhibits the melanin development. So it interferes with the process of synthesizing new melanin molecules. In addition, it's an antioxidant. So it's supporting the biological processes toward brightening, toning the skin. And it's also an astringent. Okay, so these properties definitely help with even tone complexation. So these are the 2 basic technologies. One of them is physical exfoliation. The second one is prevent the synthesis. And the third one, This is the molecule of hexylresorcinol. The third one is niacinamide, or people call it vitamin B3. This is shown to be an effective lightening, and it's significantly decreasing hyperpigmentation and increasing the skin lightness. Turn out that this material works in a totally different manner. It's inhibiting the melanosome transfer from the melanocyte to the keratinocyte. So what I'm talking about, you know that melanin is produced in the melanocyte, and the melanin is produced and compacted in or stored in particles that's called melanosome. The melanosome are then transferred into the keratinocyte, the skin cells, and then you can see them. I mean, you can see the accumulation of the melanin. So this is totally different mechanism turned to be very effective. So repeat, Hydrosol Glow is a blend of 3 different functional ingredients: salicylic acid, hexylresorcinol, and niacinamide. This is a power blend. So what do we know about this? It's safe for sensitive skin, very easy to formulate. When it's hydrosol, hydrosol enhances the stability and also enhances the ability to adhere to the skin. Once it adheres to the skin, it can stay and slowly release. And that's the whole idea, the slow release. You don't want to put any ingredients all at once in the skin and expose to the skin. It may cause irritation, dryness of the skin. It's all negative effect for the healthy appearance and healthy function of the skin. So what do we know? Clinical studies show that it's clinically proven for skin lightening and even toning. It significantly shows the effect within 4 weeks. I mean, 4 weeks means that in 4 weeks, people definitely could see an effect. And it's much more effective, 2 to 4 times more effective than hydroquinone. It's also can work against age spots. Age spots are known to be very difficult to brighten. So it has ability to reduce the age spot, not just melasma. Here is a video showing you how it all works together. So this is a cross section of the skin. And you can see the top layers as well as the dermis layer. In a second, it will show up. This video really focus on light, but through this South-sphere light, we will see also about hydrosol.
Hyperpigmentation can arise for a variety of reasons. Age spots, sun exposure, pregnancy, and other environmental factors can all be causes of hyperpigmentation. But the root of the problem goes down to excess melanin. To overcome this challenge, Salvona has developed South-sphere Light, a submicron delivery system infused with alpha-arbutin and resveratrol, designed to penetrate into skin, protect the ingredients, and deliver them to where they are needed most in the skin to act effectively. Due to the lipophilicity and very small particle size, these South-spheres are able to carry the resveratrol and arbutin through the stratum corneum and down into the epidermis to release them where they can act naturally and effectively. As the alpha-arbutin is biologically converted to hydroquinone, this process is slow and reduces the potential for irritation from this product, unlike many other popular depigmentation products on the market today. Additionally, as both resveratrol and alpha-arbutin are naturally occurring molecules, this also affords the chance for a natural-based claim on the product, all while visibly reducing the signs of melanin and the appearance of age spots or other hyperpigmentation on the skin. Okay. South-sphere Light offers numerous advantages over the unencapsulated Arbutin and resveratrol ingredients. The resveratrol is stabilized from oxidative degradation, while the alpha Arbutin is not only able to penetrate into the skin in greater quantity, but the slowed release also delays the bioconversion to hydroquinone, reducing the potential for irritation.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on. And first of all, I wanted to show you that it really works. And you can see here 2 arms. You guess which one was treated. One was treated with the blend of Salzfeel Light and the other just was a control. I am sure that you can see that after 3 weeks, there is a significant difference in discoloration, hyperpigmentation. Definitely this is darker than number 2. Number 2 is treated with hydrosol light. Okay, now you understand the 2 products, how they are made, what is the logic of using them, why to use them, how to explain it to the consumer, and how to explain the value to the consumer. Now I will show you how to use it. So this is a brightening serum. Serum, we like to use serums, okay? Various reasons why we like to use serum, but serum is a product that you would put after wash and before putting any lotion. So this serum contains both technologies, Salzfeel Light and Hydrosol Glow. This is the formula number. Okay, so there are a lot of ingredients in the formula in small concentration, and they are used as models. You don't have to use all of them, but the most important to pay attention and to remember is Salzfeel Light, which using the alpha Arbutin and resveratrol, use at 1.3%. That's sufficient to get results. And Hydrosol Glow use at 2.5% to get the results. And the rest of the ingredients is practically up to you. But we show you the basic process. So we have a vessel A, which has the water base, the sodium carbomer as a thickener. Then on the side, we prepare our xanthan gum, the glycerin, propandiol. Then we use fraction number 3. You see, we are using hyaluronic acid, a version, and we are using some mushroom extract. Mushroom extract also has some natural ingredients that help with the pore reduction as well as with brightening. We use a derivative of vitamin C. At that time, we didn't use, here in this formula, we don't use an encapsulated version of vitamin C by itself, unfortunately. But we will show you other formulas when we use encapsulated vitamin C and not any derivative that the body doesn't know. Then we use our oil phase. This is phase D. It goes in, and eventually we have our functional ingredients. Functional ingredients, you see we have multiple botanicals. You don't have to use all of them, but with them, we incorporate the Salzfeel Light and the Hydrosol Glow, and you can hear exactly how we do it. This is direct from our lab. Okay, it takes a minute.
First, we will add Ultras 20, which is a sodium carbomer, to the water. This should thicken the water a considerable amount, so the propeller speed will most likely need to be increased as it is mixing. Now we will premix our xanthan gum and glycerin to wet our polymer. And we will also add a little bit of propane diol to this. This will also help aid in the wetting of the polymer and help match the refractive index of the water. Now our 1% hyaluronic acid solution will be added. This will provide some moisturization benefit to the final formulation. Next, an active material, pore reductal, will be added. And what this is a mushroom extract dispersed in water and glycerin. Then our lucamine will be added, what this is 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid. So it is ethoxylated vitamin C. Now the final component of our water phase, the preservative Euxyl PE9010 will be added. Our first oil phase ingredient, Lexfield N100, will be added to a beaker. The Lexfield will act as an emollient in our final formulation. Now we will add a little bit of orange oil to our oil phase. This will act as a fragrance in our final formulation. Now we will add another fragrance, rosehip seed oil, and then a little bit of camellia oil as well. Now finally, our oil phase emulsifier, Soldoc PG410, will be added. And once this is mixed completely and uniform, you can begin to add it to the water phase once that is also completely uniform.
There are many ingredients that you don't have to add. It's up to you. We just show you the possibilities of what you can add in order to enhance the...
Now that the base of the formulation is done, we will begin to add our technologies. Our first technology is Salsphere Light. As you can see, once it is added, it really doesn't change the formulation at all, except that you are now providing some anti-hyperpigmentation power. Next, our Hydrosal Glow.
Hydrosal Glow is clear, Salsphere Light is milky.
And then finally, a little bit of 20% sodium hydroxide solution is added to adjust the pH. Continue to mix for about 10 to 15 minutes afterwards, but it should be fully homogeneous once the final ingredient is added. This is our Salsphere Light and Hydrosal Glow serum. As you can see, it is pretty thin, even for a serum, but you don't need a lot when you use it on your skin. 1 drop is sufficient, but I show 2 here just to show how well it spreads. As you can see, there is no formulation left on the skin once it is rubbed in. Creates a nice shiny afterglow on the skin and has a nice feel.
Okay, great. I'm sure you can learn from this formula and make your own. So this is a brightening skin serum. You can see a couple of products that are using this exact technology. It's formulated to perform, to brighten, more radiant looking complexation. It's a serum. It's probably using a lot of natural ingredients such as alpha arbutin, grape, and so vitamin C, powerful combination of beta hydroxy acid, salicylic acid, hexylresorcinol, and niacinamide. So this is the basic formula of a serum with the technology. Now I would like to transfer you to another world of formulation, and this is attempt to brighten the skin, but at the same time, you want to bring the sensation immediately to the consumer, which means we want to show the consumer like in seconds that the product is brightening. So it's a cue that's showing the product is working, and what do you expect what you get in a few minutes or a few weeks after you use it. So we use Salsphere Light. This is for the biological change of brightening and toning the skin. And we use another technology that's called Sal Color Effects, pink to white. And this is the formula number. Sal Color Effects are microspheres that are able to change the color from pink to white. So the product will look pink, but the actual, when it appears on the skin, it will provide a bright color. It's a bright color. Okay? It doesn't change the skin color. It just changes the way it looks like because of the additional pigments applied onto the skin. So people can see the effect immediately. That's what we call instant cosmetics, something that gives you immediate effect, and the light will give you a longer lasting effect. It will take a couple of weeks, I mentioned 4 weeks, to see a significant difference. The formula in this case is much simpler in terms of ingredients. And before I show you the exact formula, I just will tell you, Salsphere Light, used in this case at 4%. This is a higher dose because this is the only brightening technology, 4%. However, Cell Color Effects is used at 1.5%. Now you could use a higher concentration to make a bigger impact on the skin upon application, or you can use less, but we recommended here to use 1.5. And here is how to formulate with these two wonderful technologies to make immediate effect and long-lasting effect. It's a winning couple in terms of utilization. Brian explains the technology.
To begin, we will start heating the water to 75 degrees C, and then premix the rest of our water phase, which is Zimea, xanthan gum, and disodium EDTA. We want to wet the xanthan gum in the Zimea so that it is more compatible with the water. And we have the disodium EDTA in there as a chelating agent. Once this mixture is uniform, you may begin adding it to the water phase. As the water phase begins to become fully uniform, you may wish to increase the propeller speed as the thickness may increase as well. Now we will begin heating the first component of our oil phase, the capric caprylic triglyceride. Next, we will add an emollient jojoba oil. This will discolor the oil phase to a light yellow color, but it should remain clear. Next, we will add our second emollient, Lexfil N5. And this is diheptyl succinate and capryloyl glycerin. It's a basic acid copolymer. This will provide a very light feel to the formulation. Now we will add our first solid, shea butter. And this is a very light butter, so it should melt fairly quickly. And this will provide some nice moisturization to our final formula. Now we will add our emulsifier, cetyl alcohol. This ingredient will help the oil phase match the interfacial tension of the water phase and create nice small droplets. Now our final oil phase ingredient, the stearic acid, will be added. This is going to act as a co-emulsifier to the cetyl alcohol and will also give some slight emollient performance to the final formulation. Now we will check the temperature of the oil and water phase to ensure that both are at 75 degrees Celsius. Now that both the oil and water phase are at 75 degrees Celsius, we will begin to slowly add the oil to the water phase. This should slightly opacify the solution. Now we will mix for 10 to 15 minutes while maintaining 75 degrees Celsius heat. Once the solution has mixed for 10 to 15 minutes at 75 degrees Celsius, you may begin to cool it while continuing to mix with the propeller. Now that the emulsion is below 40 degrees Celsius, we will begin to add the rest of the formulation. First is alpha tocopherol. This is a very powerful antioxidant. Next, we will add our first technology, Salsphere Light. This is our proprietary technology that can provide some lightening of the skin and reduce hyperpigmentation. Now that our formulation is complete, we will adjust the pH with either 20% lactic acid solution or 20% arginine solution. Now that the pH has been adjusted, we will add our second and final technology, Sal Color FX Pink to White. What this will provide to our formulation is an initial color of pink. And then once the formulation is applied to the skin and rubbed in, it will change from pink to white. This is our daily use lotion with Salsphere Light and Sal Color FX Pink to White. As you can see, the formulation has a slight pink tint to it that comes from our Sal Color FX, white, pink to white. As you can see, it has a slight pink hue when dispensed, but as it is rubbed in, it becomes a nice white lotion.
Yeah, thank you. It becomes a little bit of brightening lotion that one can see on the skin, a tiny line of toning. And that's just to resemble that the product is going to lighten the skin. This base especially is very luxurious, fast absorbing, it's also moisturizing, it's giving an immediate effect and a long lasting effect. Very simple to apply it and very beneficial on the skin. So I showed you two examples and my time is practically over. I would like to summarize and say the following. We presented to you now two technologies, Salsphere Light, natural solution, and Hydrosol Glow, combining of natural and synthetic ingredients. But these are not the only two technologies we are offering to brighten and enhance the fairness, the toning of the skin. We also offer multisal and microsal vitamin C and E. So this is coming out. Then we have encapsulated retinol, which also helps with brightening, anti-acne, and of course, multisal multi-layer, which is a winning technology in the East for anti-aging, addressing anti-aging multiple aspects of exfoliating, hydrating, brightening, and peptide to treat wrinkles. So all the technologies are available. And what's interesting, you can add them in any formula that you make. Just make sure it's at room temperature and just gently mixing. We also use some other supporting technologies to enhance the perception and the feel of the product and to make the experience more enjoyable. So we have Hydrosol Sal Cool, which add a fresh tingling effect. And of course, I showed you Sal Color and Sal Color Effect. They are all colorful beads. Sal Color are beads that provide just colorful beads. And Sal Color FX provide a color changing effect. So this is to summarize what you have been presented today and opportunities for you to look into other technologies to enhance your product appearance. I want to thank you for your participation. If you have any kind of comments or questions, please add them to the chat. I will be happy to address them. Otherwise, you can always find me at www.salvona.com. I give you the office number, which is open now 24/7. You can leave messages. You can request a product that you may not see it in the website. You would like to inquire about them. Or you can contact me on my phone number. I give you my cell phone number. I can tell you I'm not picking up calls, but I definitely pick up messages on WeChat, WhatsApp, Viber, Line, and Telegram. And of course, please follow us on LinkedIn. And now I would like to open the podium to ladies first, maybe to Nirali, because Nirali is representing Salvona among a scope group. And Nirali, if you would like to talk, this is your time. So take off your microphone and looking to hear from you. If you are not ready, so we can also have Rohit to address the audience. I see that none of them is responding. Okay, Rohit.
Hi. Yeah, good evening to all Indians and good morning, Dr. Sam.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, first of all, we would like to thank you for your precious time of approximate 60 minutes now, giving all the brief on the existing and the new technologies of Salvona. And I would also like to thank all the participants who have taken out your time for us and joining this webinar. Thank you once again. Now, Scope is representing Salvona in India. So we have a team pan India. I can see attendees from pan India. It is from north, south, and east as well west. So we are very open, and we are very much available anytime for all your doubts, all your queries, all your sample requests, all your documentation requests. We are always available 24/7. You can also get our contact if you're already in touch with our team, well and good. If not, you can get in touch with our right representative via our website www.scope-india.com, where you can get our contact, and whereby our team will connect you to the right person looking after the product, region, or the principal. So that would make your process easier. And if they do not respond in time, we have a ticket section in our website. You can just raise the ticket so that request comes to my desk, and I can personally take on that immediately.
Thank you, Rohit. Okay, we are showing you here new and advanced product, the same time that we show it everywhere in the world, maybe a week later. But you're invited to attend our global webinars. They are announced in our website. You definitely are invited to attend. It doesn't cost you any money. Just pay attention to the webinars. And this could be a very good source for new information, practical information. As you can see, we show you exactly how to make the product. There shouldn't be doubts. There may be questions or comments. I will be very happy to address them. Please use the representative, or please use the direct contact that I gave you in savona.com contact. If you have any question or comment, please put them on the chat. And if not, I wish you a great evening and a good time, and be well and take care in this crazy time of Corona and other things. But Corona is the worst. And take care. Bye-bye.